I am sure at this point that you're aware that there was yet another tragic shooting this weekend combined with a fire. It was deadly, it was devastating. You know the basic facts. So we're not going to recount all of those. But we will point out, because I think it is important to in this terrible time that we're in, that Republicans appeared to be so sure that this was going to confirm the narrative they've been trying to push, that this is people targeting Republicans or people targeting Christians, something like that, because it was a Mormon church that was targeted, that they jumped on it. This has gotta, we need it. And they didn't wait the 5 seconds necessary to find out that, oops, no, it's not at all what you thought it was. And it was basically, it looks like at this point, the normal sort of shooting that has become all too common here in America. This is the perpetrator of this devastating shooting. Thomas Jacob Sanford opened fire with an AR-15, a part of the story that the Republicans, of course, ignored and will continue to ignore, inside of a Mormon church on Sunday. Also set it on fire, a devastating fire. As of right now, 4 people were killed, 8 are in a hospital. Hundreds of people that were just trying to, worship, were at risk there. I can only imagine how devastating and just terrifying the entire thing was. The shooter was killed in a firefight with police. But as I said, instantly, the idea is this is yet another attack on Christianity, probably by one of those damn transes or whatever. And so Trump jumped to Truth Social, and he didn't give the maximal version of how he sometimes responds to these things. And yet in this message, he talks about being briefed on the shooting, says the suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn. Don't worry, they've learned some stuff, so now they're gonna move on. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. And I have no doubt that he's going to, shut down the Working Families Party or something as a result of this. And while it is objectively a targeting of some Christians, this does not fit neatly into the narrative the right has been trying to spread. And while the president didn't go as irresponsible as he has in some recent cases, don't worry, the MAGA movement definitely did. Laura Loomer goes off on this novella. By the way, I feel like I have to crowdfund enough money to buy Twitter just to shut down these long ass posts, because it really has to end. And I know it might seem like a shallow thing I'm talking about. No, it encourages people to go farther, more conspiratorial, because everybody has to write a goddamn manifesto in everything they put up. She's saying, watching the attack on Christians today in Michigan, I will say it's only gonna get worse. The Democrats in Michigan are running a Muslim for Senate. It's Abdul El Sayed, who by the way has been on our show a couple of times. She just states they're running a Muslim. So this is part. Yeah, the Mormons were shot up and the Democrats are running a Muslim. You understand how these two things go together? And then says a bunch of lies about him. He's the most, again, I'm sure you've seen interviews. He's one of the most reasonable people. He's a doctor by training, great guy. To her, that's what this is about. Mormons get shot, the damn Democrats have a Muslim, and that should be unacceptable. It's the Islamic invasion of your state that Muslims are allowed to run for office in America. Okay, Benny Johnson, he's the hack grifter that had the FCC guy on that ended up with Jimmy Kimmel being briefly fired, says new aerial footage, Christianity is under attack. And they're all, not only are they sure of the particular narrative here, but they're all very invested. And that is going to change as abruptly as the narrative itself changes, because they're not that interested anymore. Now that more details have come out about the guy, which we're gonna talk about. I went before the show, I went to Breitbart, and they had 2 little references to the shooting in 2 different sections on their website. This is a devastating shooting that happened less than 1 day ago. 4 people have died. And then Bad Bunny is this big. Bad Bunny's 10 times as big, because Bad Bunny is gonna be in the Super Bowl, because it's not what they thought it was, and now they don't care anymore. I guess the 4 deaths aren't that tragic anymore. Weird how that works out. Now, we're gonna talk about the actual facts that we do know about the shooter, but JR, I wanted to give you a chance to jump in on this.
I'm just waiting. I'm wondering where those attacks, somewhere of these comments and rhetoric was, back in 2015 when there was, black Christians that were praying and having church, worshiping God, and then this white supremacist terrorist Dylan Roof ran in there and shot up a bunch of folks there too. I'm trying to figure out why there was no attack on Christians then, and why Laura Loomer wasn't then going to talk about how did you know the Republican Party is chocked full of racist white people? I'm just trying to figure out why she didn't say that then and why now suddenly. Which, by the way, I'm not sure if you're gonna get to it, but the background of this guy,
Yeah.
Kind of what you would expect. But they want to keep flipping reality on its head, keep telling us what we see is not what we see, and that everything that they've generated of the hate that they've got going in so many people's hearts and minds, that you don't have to actually pay attention to reality. You don't have to pay attention to what you're looking at anymore. All you have to pay attention to is that seething, boiling point of rabid racism that's in your bellies, and then use it to be irrational and follow this guy off of a cliff. That's all that they need. Oh, and by the way, and right before you jump, hand him your wallet.
Yeah, you're totally right. Dylan Roof was not a part of this. And Kash Patel, please Google Dylan Roof if you're not familiar with who he was. Because, and look, maybe this is a side conversation, but black churches to the MAGA movement, to conservatives generally, are not churches, they're black. That's what they are. The black part cancels out the churches. It doesn't matter that these people in some, like there are so many deeply Christian black people in America. It has never counted. It has never been a part of their movement, to be clear. But anyway, yeah, and so they're moving on. They don't care. I mean, I feel like it's still like, even if it's not a part of that narrative of like trans supporting people attacking Christianity, it still was a church that was targeted. Is that not worth? Can we not do 2 days on that? Can we not talk for 2 days about that? Or we could talk about the fact that this guy had access to an AR-15 when arguably nobody should. We could, I know that they don't want to talk about that, but we could. It's no, if it isn't a part of your thing where you're gonna shut down Antifa, the Democratic Party, it's just not even worth mentioning. You can just shoot up a church now, and it's just a casual every week sort of thing in America. That is really sad for our country. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.